The Center for Early Childhood Education at Eastern Connecticut State University is pleased to announce the results of its 2011 TIMPANI Toy Study, toys that inspire mindful play and nurture imagination. We know that young children learn critical skills and knowledge through their play. Engaging in make-believe, creating something new, and playing with friends helps children to acquire the social and intellectual abilities needed for success in school and adulthood. While there is much research on children's play, few studies have looked at how children interact with toys during play. To address this research gap, the Center conducts the annual TIMPANI Toy Study under the direction of Dr. Jeffrey Trawick-Smith. The study looks at how young children in natural settings play with a variety of toys.
Toys are really a fundamental part of a preschool curriculum. First off, a lot of a preschool day is still devoted to play, where children engage in playful activities with their peers. And one of the things that research shows is that a large percentage of play involves toys. So what the TIMPANI project is about is identifying toys that contribute to specific areas of development. We try to capture groups of children, kind of naturally interacting and playing together with these toys. Once we have video captured for each of the toys, then we use a coding instrument and we score these toys across 3 specific areas. We would look at what kinds of intellectual activities children engage in as they're playing with them. We would look at the degree to which they express themselves in imaginative or creative ways. And then the last thing is just looking at the amount of social interaction and language children use as they're playing. If we can, identify some of the characteristics of toys that score very high in our study on these different areas, that we can use that information to guide teachers in making choices in their classrooms and to help parents make selections at home.
The study provides ongoing opportunities for Eastern students to engage in meaningful research, helping to meet the university's mission to provide experiential learning opportunities for students.
My role in the study was really unique. I was able to videotape the children playing with the toy, so I got a first-hand look at how all of the toys were interacted with. I was actually able to use a rubric that was developed and go through and score the toys. I think the most valuable part of this study for me personally is that I will be able to bring the knowledge that I learned about children's use of toys into my own classroom setting when I am a teacher. I think it's really important to see how some toys encourage children to use their imagination, from taking just a simple object and creating something very unusual.
Of the toys studied in 2011, Hasbro's Tinker Toys earned the highest ratings. This year's study looked at a colorful plastic version of Tinker Toys.
The language development that I observed during the Tinker Toys was very expansive. Children used words such as disappear, bulldozer, they were making lollipops and licking them. It was a constant stimulation of imagination.
I'm a robot, take me to your leader.
There was 200 pieces in the container, which allowed all children to have freedom to choose whatever pieces they wanted to use to construct whatever images they were creating in their head.
This is a steaming. How do you put a flea in there? Drive this way.
One of the things I liked about the Tinker Toys was the opportunity for the children to use them in many different areas. Some of the children were laying it out flat and using the surface as part of their play. They were using it to spell out letters and make different shapes as a musical instrument. I noticed a lot of dramatic play.
It was like a helicopter thing.
One thing that I noticed a lot and that I really enjoyed about the Tinker Toys was that children were able to play with them independently, but also cooperatively. So they had used the circles and lots of rods to make helicopters, which then kind of led into some pretend play, because then they stood up and started walking around and pretending to move the helicopter. And they kind of moved into like a role-playing type of experience, not just like a constructing experience.
The pieces are not similar to each other. They're very different from each other. You have the long pipe, then you have this round ring-like thing, and then you have this yellow disc. I guess maybe that fosters creativity and asks the children to look at different ways to put all these pieces.
This is a telescope. Look! Yeah.
I've got to say that I was initially sort of surprised that Tinker Toys, of all the toys that we looked at, scored highest across all areas that we looked at. But then as I thought about it, it really confirmed what we've been finding, which is that real basic and open-ended toys tend to really, be beneficial to children in their play and learning. Tinker Toys have been around for 100 years or more, and there's a reason for that. They have lasted as long as they have, probably because both parents and teachers and children have kind of sensed these have some kind of special qualities that allow children to express themselves, to learn about things, to solve problems, and to interact with their peers.
The Center for Early Childhood Education is now accepting nominations for the 2012 Timpani Toy Study. To learn more or to nominate a toy, please visit our website at www.easternct.edu/CECE.